Alright, let's get everything started here. Having a quick look, adjusting some audio levels here because my microphone decided to play a little prank on me. Oh, it's been a very busy week behind the scenes, but otherwise we're getting everything that we need to get done for the most part. Except props, of course. I'm gonna catch a bit of flack for that, but that's fine. Let me go ahead, continue to slightly tweak these audio levels, and I think we should be good. Okay. Let's get a prediction before we go forward, up between Blue 4 and Op 4. This will be an OFCRA match. Let me make sure I select the right spot. And we should be good on that regard. Alright, looking at the map here, looking at all of my other thingamajigs, let's go ahead and get over the scenario here. So, we basically have a mission on Isla Duala. It's going to be a semi-insurgent operation, but with quite an interesting twist here. So, the two factions are the Nigerian army and what's called the Biafra army, which I believe is some sort of insurgent group. Otherwise, very interesting set of objectives. They're flip-flopped here from what I normally see, but that is fine. Otherwise, whoever controls this radio station by the end of the mission, I'm trying to find it. I don't think it's the city center, but I guess it is here because they have it marked as a radio station, but I don't see anything about a city center in the AO. So usually it's with this area here in the purple zone. So whoever has more players in there gets 2 points by the end of the mission. Now, Op 4 has 3 different VIPs to defend here by the hour 15 mark. A priest and 2 doctors. There's a command outpost and a food storage position that are marked. I'm assuming that is where these VIPs are located. Otherwise, Blue 4 has to try to kill all 3 of them. Actually, no, and then there's 2 more. So there's 5 VIPs total. So there's a priest, 2 doctors, and 2 German advisors that are all in different positions. So the command outpost probably has some of the advisors there, the doctors maybe at the city center or the food storage, and then the church probably has the priest in there. So each one of those VIPs are worth a single point each. My music didn't loop because why would anything I set properly actually work? But otherwise, there's just it's a simple VIP defense here. And then you win if you have more points. You win points if you have more than 8 people alive. Okay, so there's also a 3-point survival bonus. So if one side has more than 8 people by the end of the mission, they gain a bonus 3 points, which basically means if there's just a number superiority by the end, they have a good chance of winning the game by default, unless the other side is really going all out to hold every single point here. So in total, there is, what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 points total either side can score. Blue 4 mainly being on offense by trying to take out the VIPs, Op 4 on defense by trying to defend the VIPs here. Looking at everything here, the priest is in a really weird place based off of his picture. And the doctors are also in a really weird place. Where is that? Oh my god. I will show you guys when when we load in what this looks like, because that's certainly something interesting here. They're in a rocky position with the 2 doctors, and then the German advisors are the ones I'd assume in the outpost. That's alright. There's gonna be some really weird custom composition development in this AO based off of some of the reference pictures I'm seeing, potentially at the command post, but it could be anywhere at this point. But I'm assuming these 2 points are significant. Nonetheless, hope you all are having a wonderful today. Today it's going to be a very busy streaming day for me. After we conclude OFCRA at around 6 o'clock, I am going to be going on even earlier than 6 o'clock, probably around 5:30. I will be doing a little bit of mission dev for tonight's Pay for Pain finale. Because if I were to, I think the D-goal is updated here. Let me flash it real quick. Yeah, we are less than 750 away from the final objective, and I decided with next week's Thursday being Turkey Day for Americans, Thanksgiving, since I won't be here, this would be a really great time for me to wrap up Pay for Campaign and then give Pog some new operational ideas for what we want to go for starting in December, and then we'll see where that transitions at. So that's exciting tonight. Going to be a lot of work involved with that. And then later tonight, I'm just going to basically put a bunch of operations down, try to figure out my weekend in terms of Saturday, and we'll see how things go. And yeah, 3 USS war games going out at the same time. I mean, I don't think we're going to be able to pull them out and do repairs on them anymore since this is the quote-unquote last one. We're just going to put it up as is because all 3 of them have quite capable air defenses on their own. But we'll just have to see how it plays out. What happens to the Stargate op? I haven't really been able to do that many ops this week due to some other stuff, but we'll get it sorted. Like I said, we have a lot to potentially do, especially for next week and for this weekend, so we'll just please be patient with me, and I appreciate you guys in your patience going forward. Also, Liru, I'll be adding a fun grenade to buy menu tomorrow. So, okay, Ghost Wolf. Another thing, Ghost Wolf is available tomorrow. So for DayZ, we will be showing off. We'll be on the Molsk. I'm also setting up the D-Goal menu for December's operations. And I'm going to be spending this coming week trying to get as many ops done as I can. Might even run a few ops on my off day just so we can go crazy on Arma next week. But I definitely want to start balancing out with some other projects I'm working on as well. But we'll get there when we get there. Yeah. Pog will be at 8 o'clock. However, there's a very unique schedule tonight on how Pog is going to work. And I guess since we have some time, I can go over it. I will start the server up at about 6:30 for them. They are allowed to start hitting positions with artillery at 7:30 because the entire map is garrisoned, and that is mainly a way for me to start getting rid of AI because every single thing that is on the menu is spawned in, except for the war games. Those will be put in when I feel like putting them in and brought from outside of the AO. But everything else is down. I also changed all the vanilla T14s to RHS T14s. I'm giving the player base every advantage I can, or disadvantage, I guess I should say, to slow them down. If we hit the end of the D-Goal at 10 o'clock, the nuke will drop. If we do not hit the D-Goal by 10 o'clock, the operation will continue until one of 2 things happens. 1, the nuke gets made, and then we just immediately drop it after we drop everything else tied to it, and then we end the campaign there. Or 2, the player base actually clears through everything. And however long it takes that night, but that campaign, the campaign, is going to end tonight in one way or another. Viewer base is 750 away from it. Yeah, so Deadly, let me flash the D-Goal again. We're 750 away on that entire campaign. Also, Luquan, I'm sorry if I missed you, buddy, but how you doing, broski? Welcome. But that'll be up for the some of the pre-stream tonight as I set up some other really wacky custom compositions as a last bit of defense for them. But there are multiple minefields set in play. But yeah, Pay for Pain, again, it's going to start in about 4.5, well, technically 4 hours because I'm going to give them 30 minutes to start dropping artillery. I will show you guys the AOs and how much I've deliberately spread them out. I even added an additional AO because I know their arty is going to be very, very condensed. But here's the thing. I think they're only down to 1 HIMAR. And it's the respawnable one because we blew them all up in the previous mission. So they're only left with 1 arty piece and the D30. So I mean, we've got them pretty much back against the wall, you know? So it's going to be really tough for them to potentially win the campaign. But at this point, since we're like 750 away from that final goal, if they win is entirely up to you. They still have the means, don't get me wrong, to take everything out. And I'm not going to allow for the war games to basically pull out of the AO to rearm. And if I do, I'm going to put them on like 20 or 30-minute timers. Especially since we'd have 3 to cycle in. It's going to be up to you guys on battle strategy if we want to put them all in and see if we can just curb stomp and spawn camp them, or if we just cycle them in one at a time and then potentially have it down to like every 10 minutes we can have one of the war games up. Let's give them a warm welcome, shall we? But like I said, we'll talk strategy for our final Pay for Pain campaign mission tonight. during the dev stream, and I'll show off some other silly, crazy things that I might build just for funsies. The dumbest stuff we could ever make. We'll definitely get in on that. Also, we have IED go-karts now. I caved. We did it. It was very successful in the one-off. We're going to bring it back. All right, but otherwise, mission has started. We're going to focus on the PvP until we hit a dry spot here. So, otherwise, go ahead. Oh, PRN as in, why am I blanking on his name? Jesus Christ. Okay, Deadly with 300 down, which means the nuke is now 450 away. And I'm going to take that 300. I'm going to put it in the sights then, so we can have other stuff. So, yeah, we definitely need to put that in there. So, yeah, now it's 400. It's less than 450 away. That's terrifying. But yeah, Pro Gamer, I know. We might see something with him tonight, might not. It really depends. If Pay for Pain wraps up by 10, then yes. If it goes into overtime, then maybe not. Because I do have some editing I need to get done tonight. I got some stuff to prep for next time, and there's so many things I need to get done between today and tomorrow. One of them being December's donation document. I've got mostly done. I mean, hell, if we... Is it in Deagle? I'm wondering if that's still linked. Yeah, so I haven't even changed the wording for the command yet, because that's going to be for December. But what I'm thinking is if we have any runoff, we can start funding those operations now. I'm just trying to think of some other operations to put on there. Or we can just start at 4K. But anything that runs over and Pay for Campaign tonight, if we make it past that 1250 goal, we'll start funding that. And then, if not, then we debut it tomorrow when we do DayZ. DayZ is going to be on the Namalsk server because Ghost Wolf is available. And as a bonus, my editor, Crazy, is going to be on. He told me he's reinstalling DayZ tonight. So we might be able to bully him too. So there's a lot going forward with all of that. And yeah, I think it's 420 technically for the D goal. I know, right? We're going to bully my poor editor. But anyway, let's focus on OFCRA, guys, and then we can talk more statistics as the player base on Blue 4 starts their offensive into Op Force territory. So Blue 4 are going to be Nigerians for this OFCRA PvP mission. Again, 1 life. Multiple objectives over the next hour and a half. There's the Nigerian army. We've got some flamethrowers in play. Shadow holding that one. Otherwise, it seems to be U.S. World War II surplus here. So I see some... those aren't Enfields. I think that's a Springfield bolt action. We got some Thompsons in play. Some Springfields with some bayonets at the end. I saw a Browning automatic rifle to BAR. It's right there. Medics are also in play here. I also saw some carbines. M1 carbines there. We've got multiple transport trucks. They've got some inventory crates to work with them. We have a Stuart little light tank. We have a D-30 artillery piece right there. And then we have some Bren carriers here as well as some British forces. I think, again, this is still the Nigerian army. It's just British World War II surplus. So we are going to see some Lee Enfield, some Sten guns, some Bren guns. And that appears to be it. Some LRs in play. We also have the M1 carbine. That's the paratrooper version with that lighter stock. And it looks like these are either Springfields or Lee Enfields at that point. They also have a scouting plane. They can load with supplies and drop munitions. That's an interesting play there. They do have a pilot loaded for that. We also have a sniper with a scoped rifle right there. But it looks like this biplane does not have any ordnance on it. Interesting. Okay. So we also have some Piat gunners as well for Blue 4, but that is mainly their spawn point. Let's go ahead and look at Op 4. Op 4 here, they are going to have, looks like French weaponry? Yeah, so we got some bolt actions in play. I do see some French semi-automatic rifles there. We also see some Panzer Fausts from German surplus there. We got some Panzerschreck ammunition. Oh, wait, no, there's one right there. Okay, Deadly brought it up to 450. Jesus. Which means, yep, 300 only left for Pain Deadly. You are going to definitely make tonight one to remember for the for the finishing of the campaign, that's for sure. OFCRA also have a D30 battery here. Getting excited from thinking about it, man. We also see some half-tracks in play with some German MG42, some transport trucks from the Soviet states here. A second D30 battery in play. Those could just be anti-tank guns as well. They might not necessarily be artillery pieces because there is the AT version and the artillery version. And since OFCRA is playing defense, it's more likely that they are.
Liru, I want my go back.
Oh my god. Yep. Yep. Colonel and Deadly. Yeah, I'm gonna need to message Patch at the end of this and tell him how things are gonna go down. And the really funny thing is I'm still going to build some stuff. Well, tonight's pay for campaign finale is certainly going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. And Deadly, thanks to the tier 1 sub. I hope you keep enjoying the operations, my friend, and I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. Oh, boy. I have a few wonderful ideas then. We'll get to work right after OFCRA after a 10 or 15 minute break. But regardless, yeah, this will be interesting. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, how you doing, Zelenius? We're in for a wild ride today, that's for damn sure. All right, let's go ahead and look at the AOs, and we'll do a breakdown of the player base here. So the command post is over in this area. So we got the German advisors over at the command post. These are two VIPs that OFCRA has to defend, and Blue 4 are trying to eliminate in this position, just checking in all the other spots, but it looks like the custom is over at that spot. I doubt Blue 4 have an artillery piece, because otherwise they could just shell this position. And meanwhile, we have the what? The fuck? So we have a priest in a cook pot, and the two doctors are over here. Okay. That's... Okay. And yes, Crazy, you are. Isn't that great? Yeah. So this is just cannibalism PvP. Okay, well, that's, interesting change. I love how they put these fences down so you can't just lob a grenade in here. I think these are all meant to be grenade-proof, so people just can't get easy kills, except for this little sweet spot right here. So, those are our 5 VIPs. The mission has officially started, and then we have the city center in the middle.
I want my go back.
You want me to kill Pro tonight, so you're nuking Pog. Alright, buddy. I will do my best. I will do my best to make sure things work. Yeah. Jesus. I'll do my best. Wow. I'm a bit giddy. Alright. I do have to do my best to cover this round, though. I still have that. Dr. Snuggles is dead. And Azanor, who was part of OFCRA HQ, if not Ground Command, has also died. So, okay, OFCRA Command is unconscious in the car. Blue 4 Command is Kevin. And it looks like he's okay for now, but, yeah. I don't know what happened to Dr. Snuggles here, but I guess he snuggled too hard and got the life squeezed out of him. Crazy how that happens. Now, regardless of all that, is that FSA approved? I mean, we're in Nigeria right now, so I think they have different standards for, you know, like FDA requirements and whatnot. I'm not even sure if they have a Nigerian equivalent of the FDA, but I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Otherwise, OFCRA taking some defensive posturing here. Based off of this AO, they definitely want to hold all of the choke points they can, which are these little bridges here, to stop Blue 4 vehicles from coming in. So if we were to look at all of these AOs, you also have these little posts here, I guess, to help guide the units down so they don't accidentally flood their engines, but we have a lot of shallow crossing points over here as well that can potentially be utilized. But I'd imagine OPFOR is going to rush up to try to take these bridge crossings here. Whether or not they try to take all of them off on the left side, I doubt. They're only going to probably take the majorly important ones and then maybe one or two more off to the left. But, I mean, this is only, I think, a 100-player mission, give or take, so it's only about 50v50, which is basically a platoon and some extras. But, I don't know, Blue 4, they also do have a plane, and it looks like they have given a lot of people parachutes here, so they do have an intention of dropping a squad behind OPFOR lines to attack the rear, and if OPFOR doesn't have direct site security on some of the VIPs, that rear group could definitely clean up some points early on since this is a VIP attack mission. But otherwise, hope you're all doing A-okay. This will be a very, very fun Thursday, and we'll just have to see how things go. By the way, Colonel, just for you specifically, I was supposed to upload it today, but I had something else that was already scheduled, and I couldn't find a good place to move it. So in 3 days, there will be a Stalker Anti-Stasi video from the latest stuff we've done in PGN. And since you seem to really, really like me shooting Pro in the face, there is a clip in there just for you. Actually, there's 2 where we get him killed, and there is also one of him killing me. So 3 days, buddy. So what is that? Friday, Saturday? On Sunday, I think you'll have something fun to watch on the main channel since you seem to like that. Now, also, as we wait, I will say this. I do have some ops I want to get run with pros community and films community. If they work well, then maybe we could, you know, sneak a pay for pain one-off in there in a month or two. You know, just give me a bit of time. But I could certainly figure something else out for you guys if you want me to start partnering with big YouTubers and finding funny ways to eliminate their community. I mean, we can certainly put that on the drawing board, you know? Certainly. But that is a big, big maybe. That's just me teasing an idea out to you guys right now. No guarantees. I just need to, you know, remind you guys that that is always a possibility. Wink. But I wouldn't expect anything like that till either the end of December or potentially into the new year. But if there's a whiff of that, I will let you guys know. Really, what's been going on with me is setting up for Checkpoint RP and what will potentially replace POG's weekly operation, which will start up again in December, because I always take Thanksgiving off. Because if I don't, Bloodwing gets mad, and then I get pulled away from the computer. You know, I might get smacked around by a dragon dildo. Oh my god. Crazy if you're here. Crazy as my editor. He's sent me a lot of wonderful audio clips from our DayZ work. One of them does involve the slapping of a certain type of dragon component across my face. I will let Patch know that you were the one, Colonel. Actually, I can't give it all to you, because Deadly did help, alright? So I'm going to say it's you and Deadly, okay? It was a group effort. Oh, great, Crazy. Well, let me know when you need more footage, buddy, because I have plenty to give you. Alright. So, looking at the plan here, OPFOR set up a bridge crossing on both sides over here. That's kind of a weird play. Maybe because they want to use this little overwatch position to watch any Blue 4 that come down this obvious route. Blue 4, meanwhile, it looks like they're doing this massive push around on the side. And it looks like they're going to potentially scout things out with lighter vehicles here to see if they get intercepted. I think the water is not deep enough there to cause any engine damage on the vehicle there. So, Blue 4 scouting this out right there, and then we'll see more of the force come around here. Alright, they just get across. OPFOR, meanwhile, we do have one little defensive group over on this side. These guys trying to pull security, waiting to see if anything comes around. So I have seen some SVT 40s in place, and I've also seen those MAS 36s, and it might be the 39s. Because, again, it feels like Op 4 have French, German, and Russian, or I guess Soviet era stuff, and then Blue 4 have US and British, which is quite interesting. Otherwise, Blue 4 have made their first crossing here. They're now appearing to set up a bridgehead, and I believe this is so they can cover this crossing point so the rest of the convoy can come in and utilize it. We also have some other Blue 4 elements over on the right side. Might try to just get some scouting elements done through these large hills here, or to potentially engage Op 4 positions from afar to keep Op 4 units pinned here so that there's less Op 4 actually on the objectives that Blue 4 will have to deal with going around. We're still waiting for this one plane to get unlocked here. I'd imagine based off of our timetable here, this will get unlocked probably at the 10 or 15 minute mark, which is either in 3 or I believe 8 minutes. So a lot of ways Blue 4 can get right on top of Op 4's objectives. Op 4, I mean, they've done a really decent defensive job on the near objectives, but they haven't really spread themselves out in a way that would be super advantageous to them. Instead, we see a lot of inner position defenses here, and this is going to basically allow for Blue 4 to get right into the AO and start sweeping the objectives themselves. So I don't know. I feel like Op 4 is playing a good position here to at least then fold into the final areas here. This is definitely where the most points are valued. I just don't think we need to see, like, one group all the way over here, for example. I get that there's an air element, but I mean, what if they come on a completely open position like that? It's a gamble. Blue 4 is not going to be able to recon these positions out. They're just going to pick a spot and drop, but anything's possible, and they're leaving a lot up to chance, and they're letting a lot of Blue 4 come around the flank and catch Op 4 on the run here. So I don't know. This is definitely going to be a tough one for Op 4 to basically rebound at, and I think Blue 4 has the best chance of assaulting right now if I were to give some early predictions on who will win this round. Deadly Colonel, if you link it to me, I will play it in the background, even if it's copyrighted, because at this point, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Okay. Yeah, so this is just going to be one of our little lulls here. Blue 4, I believe this is either artillery or command in the back. No, it's two dudes that are part of India. I don't know why they're back here. Again, maybe this is that long-range weapon. They do have the Bren Gunner with the LR, which is quite interesting, so they do want to keep them in radio range. This just could be, again, that pinning force that distracts. While the rest of the force kind of comes around. So very weird strategy here. But they're also waiting to actually pin them. And I think what their goal is, after they get the entirety of Blue 4 across and start moving into the objectives, that's when they'll push these guys up on a hilltop and start plinking out whatever Op 4 they can see. That way, it maximizes Blue 4's ability to push into the objective. And it minimizes the amount of time. All right, locked vehicles, that was done. Yep, at the 15-minute mark, so you're going to start seeing all the Blue 4 get into that one plane and take off. But that way, there's less time while that attack is going on for Op 4 to look around and go, okay, where's the rest of that Blue 4 infantry coming in on? Because if these guys started engaging now and this force wasn't ready and that firefight went on for 10 minutes, Op 4 would just go, okay, well, where's the rest of the Blue 4 infantry then? You know? So instead, they're going to wait till Blue 4 is ready to go. And we just heard something explode in the distance, and I hope it wasn't the plane. So remember when I said that that Blue 4 air assault group was going to be a really big threat? Yeah, I might have lied to your face. Deadly YouTube would be better. Yeah, so, wah, wah, wah. Well, I don't think that's going to change too much of the round. I mean, yeah, that was another flanking element for Blue 4 to attack with, but I think Blue 4 is still going to get a good chunk of their infantry across over here and be able to do a lot of damage. And we got to see where Op 4 is potentially going with this element here. If they're going to actually go up and check the crossings, or if they're going to redeploy somewhere else. Because if this gets opened up, then Blue 4 are basically going to be able to get right on top of the command outpost. So really, this is up to Twigking's intuition at this point, and it looks like he's heading south. He could be heading up to one of these hilltops to do overwatch cover and reconnaissance of this area. Or he's pulling back to a position to try to avoid the plane, which, funny enough, is... Oh, wait, did they all get respawned? Yeah, they all got respawned. That's funny as hell. I do agree with that respawn call because it was literally just a debug issue. If they intentionally rammed into something and blew up, though, I would be like, nah, they should stay dead. But I think they literally just got into it, and the plane was like, how about I explode? Because it's Arma 3, of course. And they're, of course, the devs are like, no, we don't want you to explode. But it's like, nah, I'm going to explode and kill everybody. That sounds about right. Oh, fuck, that's an anti-tank rifle. That's 14.5, and it will one-tap somebody. It is literally a single shot, too. With irons. Oh, boy. All right, Blue 4 are just blitzing across, not thinking there's any resistance. I would really love to see Crazy get into a spot where he snipes vehicles with that thing. Now, of course, he only has iron sights, but when you're shooting at a giant transport truck and you have a round that'll insta-kill people, just aim in the middle. You're either going to disable the vehicle or you're going to hit some people in the freaking crew quarters, and it's going to tear through two dudes.
Send in goat.
Okay,
Team 6
unironically,
now.
this was a very good pick for Twig.
Mr. Burger King, sir. I love it when you clap my buns like that. Please give me all your sauce.
Why? 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 I mean, thanks for all your moderation work. Thanks for the 49-month resub, but thanks. I hate it. Yeah, exactly, Tech Priest. That's my reaction. All right, Blue 4 have done a far dismount here. I guess potentially predicting that there's an OPFOR garrison on the hill. So this is going to be our first point of contact, which is going to potentially make a massive reroute of OPFOR. Blue 4 getting their assault force into pin, though, so that's going to keep those guys down. We're going to see a massive maneuvering of forces on the opposite side, though, as this fight picks up. And right off the bat, the anti-tank rifle snipes a dude. Where's Crazy? That had to have been... Yep. Crazy just one-tapped a dude. With irons, with the freaking anti-tank rifle. Oh my god. So we have one guy running up to see if this guy can be medically saved. That's even worse. It was the squad leader. So they're not going to be able to radio back unless there's another squad here that can do it. And that might be with TB right there to bring up that they just took contact. That's crazy. Literally, that's the guy that shot him. Callie over here with the flamethrower. He's not going to be at range. We do see some shooting from Barrows with that Thompson. But this is a pretty big range. I'm not going to lie. This is actually a really good spot to have that anti-tank rifle. But it looks like Twig is going to rally his forces, realizing that this is not a good spot. And this is where they run into a big chunk of the infantry. So now they're going to pull back, potentially get into radio range with command. And we're going to see a massive shift in OPFOR's lines over on the western side rather than the east. Yes, Crazy. There's you with a K, and then there's a Crazy player here with a C. Nah. All right, so more Blue 4 coming around. They're going on a different flank. There might even be a partial rush strategy into the command outpost. If Blue 4 is able to kill the two VIPs here, that is going to be 2 points on the board for Blue 4 out of a total of 10 that can be potentially gained. So, not a bad idea for Blue 4. We see that this force is rushing around. Could be trying to open up a flank on the group right here. However, they might spot that truck driving in the distance, which will tell them that that force is pulling away. OPFOR, meanwhile, I mean, yeah, they do. Oh, my God. Okay, I can see why Blue 4 did not want to come over here because that's an 88mm gun. Yeah. Ha. Yeah, we can kind of see why. Op4 wants to take these positions because this is really good Overwatch control, but at the same time, there's not really a lot that... How do I word this? If Op4 puts so many forces over here, then over on this other side, there's not really much that they can stop from an all-out assault from Blue 4. Meanwhile, Blue 4 driving up to the Op4 spawn point to see if there's anything useful in this area. Oddball as the commander. No, Flip for Flap's the commander. So, hold on. Is there actually a dead body in here? Yeah, so the original commander died, and someone else had to step up because he flipped the car and... That's amazing. So Flip for Flap stepped up as the as the commander instead. All right, Blue 4 now assaulting the spawn point. Op4 has remade their defensive line right here. And they're looking around to see where Blue 4 will push in from. I'm curious if Twig is going to spot these forces coming in. I'm going to assume he has because he's looking right at them. And yeah, from there he can definitely see them crossing. So let's see if Crazy can set up a position and get another kill. Nope, Pi opens up instead, gets a kill with that DP, excuse me. Jasper also opens up, and we have another dead guy right here. So some really good attrition being inflicted on the Blue 4 so far. Once again, it is a person in charge. Igor's there on the top of the roster, but we have an RTO over here that is still going to be able to call this up. Op4, meanwhile, we have another group of... a single guy over here that can potentially open up a flanking attack from the southern side. He is only equipped with a bolt action, though, but maybe he's got some special weapon that will help him get an advantage. Or he was just told, hey, drive back to the motor pool and pick something up. And we have another Blue 4 vehicle coming in as well. An explosive just went off, knocking out additional forces. Okay, no, they rigged the mortar pool to blow. That gets another kill and gets a knockout all the way out there as all these vehicles cook off. So I'd assume Azanor was the triggerman for that explosive because he had to be within a very short range to get it. Flamethrower opens up and starts immediately team killing as Blue 4 team kill their own... Okay. Little bit of miscommunication right there as we see the flamethrower go back and forth. Thank you, Deadly. And, okay, that was a smoke. I was about to say, you cheeseburger, you might have missed that throw a little bit. And I think Barros is realizing that those are friendlies there, and they just had a pretty nasty incident. Meanwhile, Azanor runs up to this truck and finds his dead commander friend and is potentially going to take that semi-auto rifle instead of the bolt action because most of the people that would engage him are unconscious at the moment. Okay, he doesn't go for the gun. He's still looting. Blue 4, I'm worried, are going to see him and kill him as he now runs in, and Azanor now goes into the bush. This is a little confusing. He's going to try to look through the windows here and get Stalem here as he's dragging a body back. Easy shot if Azanor can get an angle on him. But yeah, Blue 4 getting stopped here early on. Now we're seeing a lot of forces disseminate in various directions. We have another Blue 4 group coming along the flank here. Only 3 Op4 defenders, though, in this trench. And there is a Dishka right here that they're carrying out. So this could be an easy snipe for them. We do see this Blue 4 group also slowly coming up as that harassment force. That's going to keep a lot of Op4 pinned. But even though Blue 4 are taking some pretty heavy losses over here, this could all turn around if Blue 4 is able to immediately get some shots here. Parthius gets knocked out by some rifle grenades. And Blue 4 is pushing this position. So Op4, these guys are probably going to come over and try to assist if they don't keep pinned. These guys can potentially bypass, but we see a lot of Op4 now redeploying, but the south is exposed. So if Blue 4 comes in from the south, they'll be able to potentially get right on top of the Op4 VIPs, because I think that they think this Blue 4 force here is the main group coming in. So they think if they can get them pinned, they should be fine. But it's going to really be up to this Op4 element to turn around, because if these 3 guys can bypass this group of infantry and get in the zone and get those points, that would be game-changing. However, Fawns takes an unlucky grenade and gets blown away. Parthius not waking up anytime soon. He was a semi-auto rifleman. And now you got OPFOR slowly turning infantry around. You got a lot more forces now coming over. Blue 4 are in rush range, but OPFOR could quickly come around to cut them off. And I think this Blue 4 element is now going to instead move to flank this group on the side instead of bypassing and going for the objectives. More rifle grenades going off. Now they're taking flanking fire from the direct east. And I think Blue 4's squad here is unfortunately going to get pinned as reinforcements come in to try to help plug this gap. Meanwhile, looking into the AO, you still have Azenor down right here on no kills but a death. That's interesting. And now you got the Stewart coming up, and it is firing at some of the machine gun positions over here. We see another round go in. And that has made the half-track unusable. And they're putting a few more rounds in for good measure. No one died on it, but all of OPFOR have turned around. They don't have any long-range AT to take that asset out. Definitely, we're seeing that Stewart trying to cook that position off. Grenbrig, how you doing, buddy? Not World War II, but it is with World War II gear. It's meant to be the Nigerians versus an insurgency group, but they're all using World War II hand-me-down gear. Yeah, so Fonz was the leader element for these guys, so with him down, the rest of this group is not going to take initiative to go up, and we see an immediate OPFOR counterattack being made because this group does not know what to do in this situation. So I'm going to imagine these guys are going to get utterly annihilated, which sucks because they're right next to that objective. We see Lolo is immediately running to the objectives as well to set up a blocking position, even if it's on his own. We see another squad of Blue 4 infantry coming up. Azenor going to be the solo defensive unit there. Blue 4, I mean, they're getting units right on top of where they need to put them, but it's just not enough. And we still have some units lagging around back here because I guess the plane isn't usable. It's so weird. So yeah, Blue 4 moving up to this hilltop instead of moving to the objective. OPFOR is going to clean them up. But missed opportunity for Blue 4 there. OPFOR now in a good position, just immediately bounce back. Demovar going to cook a grenade over. Throws it over though. He gets taken out. Grenade goes over. Oh, and we see a ragdoll go right over to some of the OPFOR players. Popper looking around. Blue 4 do not have the numbers here to hold this anymore. Popper gets knocked by a grenade. You got these two down here. They're taking long-range fire, and that's this Blue 4 group pretty much cleaned up. They had an opportunity to go, but with their leader down, they had no idea what to do. Popper gets double tap. Pussy gets one tap before the grenade goes up, and Galski also gets knocked. Some more grenades going off, getting a few more OPFOR attrition kills, but that's pretty much it here. Shame, because Blue 4 had a really good opportunity with that. These two guys aren't going to be able to do anything because these guys are just going to reform a defensive group on that side. Looking at the rest of Blue 4's infantry here, we do have Ash and Arakiru could potentially bypass and get over to the food storage because there's no defense, there's just Overwatch. Could get spotted, though, as they make that advance. They probably would. There's a Maxim gun right here. I'm not sure it has all the... doesn't have the ability to defilade too far low, but we can definitely see it's got a good amount of this area covered. Just like that with OPFOR reforming their defensive lines and Blue 4 not having enough infantry in certain areas to properly hold, I think the balance of power just completely shifted to OPFOR's favor. Still cheaper than therapy. He's not wrong. Anyway. Wait a minute. Blue 4 gonna rush a three-man group in here. This could save it for Blue 4. Oh my god. Kevin's gonna roast some Jerry. Blue 4 might be able to actually get back on the board here. The balance of power immediately shifting to a rush play. No, Kevin, come on, get closer. There you go, buddy. Yes! Mike peek galore there. 2 VIPs down. Blue 4 is on the board for 2 points because Op 4 did not have any actual Sentra security. Lolo over here trying to now make Blue 4 pay for it, but the damage has been done. The Jerrys have been roasted. Kevin running up, trying to get some injuries on Lolo there. Lolo immediately trying to run. Kevin pushing him. He wants Lolo's head, and Lolo knows if he doesn't get out of here, he's going to get murdered. A double tap there. And Lolo burns to death. I think Pi is going to get him, though. Kevin can roll back in. Oh, he rolls the wrong way. Come on, roll. And he makes it. Kevin can hold this one spot. We see some Overwatch fire potentially going on red there. If Kevin does a bandage and just holds these corners, he could just burn the shit out of anyone that comes in. So yeah, Blue 4 lost that group of 4, but it was totally worth it. They got on the board, and now Blue 4, if they get a few infantry into the food storage and get those 3 VIPs down, they will score half of the points of the game, and then Op 4 can only tie. Which very well could happen. But a very good rush done by Blue 4 to basically guarantee they're at least going to tie the game. Another Op 4 flamethrower, another Op 4 member gets taken out by the flamethrower. Kevin doesn't realize he's being shot at from behind. Another flamethrower. Yeah, I wouldn't push the flamethrower, silly. And Kevin finally goes down after getting a multitude of flamethrower kills. It's so rare to see an effective flamethrower get used in this game, but damn, when it works, it works. Meanwhile, an AT gun has been set up. They are firing directly at some of the infantry over here. We do have that Stuart tank on an Overwatch position on the hill. Will they go up and find that D30 battery and take it out? Just writing down a few notes because we are getting back to the editing side of everything there. Stewart took a shot. It was just short. Another shot coming in. It's a little to the right, but that one was on target otherwise. Just a slight adjustment. That Stewart does reload very quickly. That's going to give away to the D30 that they're being engaged. D30 looking around. That round now completely on target, just slightly off. D30 now trying to range. It fires, and then he immediately eats shit and gets, the round penetrates through the D30 and hits him. That round, I'm assuming, from the D30 missed. The gun is down. Kaiser running up to see if it's effective. It is not. And Blue 4 maintain control with that Stewart. Op 4, meanwhile, trying to push forces around as Blue 4 moves into the city center. They could just try to do a holding of this position here and hold CQC. That Maxon, though, is going to be a pain in the ass. They need the Stewart to move up and potentially take out that bunker position. If they can do that, that opens up Blue 4 to be able to rush into that final position there and kill the remaining VIPs. And then any remaining infantry can just hold city center, and they can just outlast any Op 4 groups that try to come in and eliminate them. So, gonna be honest, balance of power. Started with Blue 4, shifted to Op 4, and then Blue 4 made a desperate rush to then shift it back to them. And I'd say the game is still in Blue 4's hands right now. They still have another 45 minutes to transition to hit that position there. D30 got repaired. And that could be an issue for the Stewart, but the Stewart might put itself in a position where the D30 doesn't even spot it. So, could go either way, but definitely an advantage for Blue 4, still maintaining control of this area here. Truck was also blown up, potentially by the Stewart before it left, so this gun is potentially stuck here. However, it looks like it's going to spot the Stewart. That shot, very, very short. And the Stewart just blows past that position. Now that D30 is not going to have another angle on that vehicle. And that might have also tipped the Stewart off that gun's still alive. But again, if it just repositions out of the firing arc of that D30, comes into right here, puts some rounds in this bunker to eliminate that Maxon gun, that's all they need. And then they can also pick off some of the infantry up here. So Op 4 sending these infantry down early is actually advantageous to them, whether or not they know that that Stewart's coming or not. But we do see OpFor sending attacks from both sides here. They're trying to pin the forces down here. You got Cats right here, one of the fan favorites from Scandia Recon playing on with 1 kill with a Sten gun as the rest of OpFor is coming down and trying to get things cleared. Another good spot where a flamethrower would be quite effective. Blue 4, we have some reserves in play, but they're kind of dragging their feet. So I wouldn't really expect much. OpFor, though, rallying all their forces down, realizing they've kind of lost that northern position. So if they can get a tight hold of this AO to prevent the trickling Blue 4 forces from coming in and reinforcing, I think OpFor will be able to bounce this back, especially if Blue 4 can't get anyone up to the VIP. Speaking of, that's what this 4-man group running down is for. They are going to now hold the VIP position. At least that's what they should do. They could still bypass and go down, allowing for a Blue 4 guy to bypass, get those additional 3 points, and force at least a tie game from OpFor. But if OpFor can send forces down and hold this position and prevent Blue 4 from rushing in like they did with those other 2 points, still major potential for an OpFor victory in this scenario. I think what's really killing Blue 4 here is the fact that the rest of the forces are dragging their feet to come in. We're not seeing any maneuvering from the forces right here. They're all just kind of stuck in these positions here. And that's really costing them. All right, they're dismounting a guy from their armor. Lolo's going to scout out that bunker. That's the first thing that Stewart needs to snipe out. And he needs to tell that Stewart to come up and start hitting it. If they can take out that Maxim gun, that's going to allow for a lot more Blue 4 maneuvering inside. However, there's a massive amount of OpFor infantry that are coming in to reinforce this position. Blue 4 doing their best with holding with what they have in this spot. But will it be enough? I don't see Eric Kiru in here anymore. So either he pulled back, I don't see him there, so he was taken out. D30 now being used against infantry, and that is going to cause more routing from the forces along the rear, and funny enough, to have them run right back into the kill zone. So a big chunk of Blue 4 infantry is going to get pinned by that D30 now because of miscommunication. Looks like Cats was taken out, unfortunately, and I'm going to be honest, I think OpFor is just going to swarm this AO, and this is probably GG. Blue 4 unable to get a bulk of their infantry into reinforce. They're now going to be defeated in detail. Even though they got 2 points on the board, OpFor have control of the other 3 VIPs. They're just going to bring all these forces and clean up what's here and then hold the final position. D30 is going to chew up a good chunk of the infantry there. Yes, Blue 4 still have the Stewart, but if OpFor just put themselves in the final zones, there's nothing that Stewart can do. So I'm very tempted to call an early GG right here. The only way Blue 4 is going to be able to hold is if they have a few people with submachine guns or machine guns be able to get some massive multi-kills off of the forces that are right here. You just saw an HE round fire but get caught by a tree. However, the Stewart is in a position now to flank the gun. That could reprieve that Blue 4 infantry element, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Stewart's not going to make the same mistake it made last time, though. It's going to definitely double tap that D30. I just heard an artillery round coming. Ricochet round comes up, hits the D30. We need to see this massive Blue 4 wave come in ASAP now that that D30 is getting disabled. Blue 4 get on this ridge, flank the attacking wave in. Maybe they can then sandwich the forces in here, but look at this. A single OpFor member has come up and eliminated a good chunk of the Blue 4 defenses with that DP. 3 kills so far, takes friendly fire. Ash gets blown up by the grenade. OpFor now have control of the center of town. So maybe we can still see Blue 4 bounce back with that 1 infantry group, but at this point, OpFor outnumber them 2-1. Bluck running up. He's going to find some Blue 4 in this bunker here. Banks, Tackleberry, and Bluck, 3 really good OFCRA players. Bluck gets the sweeping shot on that 1 Blue 4 member. Banks now holding. If Bluck was smart, he'd throw a grenade in here. Probably heard, Banks probably heard him there. Grenade gets thrown over, but it's completely mistimed. We got a flamethrower guy try to come in, but immediately get gunned down. Flamethrower is only going to work really well in CQC. Bluck takes another grenade, and he is knocked out. Unlikely to wake back up. But can Banks hold against the guys in here? More grenades being thrown in. That was an AT grenade being thrown into the position. As Banks pulls back, loads a fresh mag into his gun. And he is pre-firing this corner here. Banks going to get caught by that grenade and taken out. He just didn't see it. Here's what's going to happen here, though. Look at this. Yeah, these two guys on the rear of that entire Blue 4 element. That could be devastating. Stewart is still up, but this is Blue 4's last major group of infantry in the entire AO, and then you got two more up here. If Blue 4 doesn't wipe the position up here immediately, they're SOL. D30 disabled. Might see it repaired to be used against the Stewart here. Oh, I don't know. Just the way Blue 4 separated its forces. If these guys went in with the other groups of infantry and all of these guys were present, we would have seen people run up, take that position. Op4 would have gotten pinned up there by the Stewart. This could have gone so differently if Blue 4 was just a bit more coordinated on the attack, but I don't see it. We're instead going to have a direct engagement here with that garrison because there's no longer any threat right there that they're going to be focusing on. No ambush potential for the Blue 4 guys to hit them on the rear. I think we're just going to see an even trade on this spot, which is going to leave a massive Op4 garrison for any remaining Blue 4 members to fight. I stuttered there with a member. Ha! Either way. Yeah, they're just going to turn the Maxim gun on him and just mow him down. Well, it means we'll start the dev stream for OFCRA a lot earlier. That's for damn sure. Maxim's been turned, and the suppression begins. He gets a kill. A little worried about his friend poking his head out right there. We'll probably get a back-of-the-head headshot there. Yeah, Masano's even stolen the Thompson. You potentially have these four guys that'll come up and deal with it. However, we do hear the Stewart on the move. It's just going to take one good grenade if these four Op4 take initiative. Meanwhile, the rest of Blue 4 that are pushing this position are just getting blown away. And I'm going to be honest, I think it's GG. No, making something for Pay for Pain. Revanche. Sorry if I misspoke. Because our Pay for Campaign's tonight, the finale. And, yeah, it's definitely going to be the finale. Flip for Flap up here on his own. Two Blue 4 around him. Yeah, Op4 basically maneuvered better than Blue 4. Blue 4 started with really good maneuvering, but Op4... No, not even Op4 did anything proper to counter it. Blue 4 had some really good maneuvering by, you know, taking the VIP position there, but that was only half of Blue 4. The other half really lagged behind, and when they needed to be aggressive with the rest of Blue 4, they weren't, which split up Blue 4 and allowed for Op4 to regroup everyone at once, even if they were later than the original Blue 4 group, and then basically cut off Blue 4 and now defeat them in detail. So you got these two guys that were originally on the rear of the massive Blue 4 infantry group. Now they've heard the Stewart, and they're trying to hunt that down. This Op4 infantry group looking around because that Stewart sounds a lot closer than it actually is. And then you got this Blue 4 group holding up here. Again, another divide. As one Blue 4 element, you can actually see all their dead bodies here, except for Bisho. With minimal casualties to the Op4 group up here, except for, what, one? Yeah, no, it's GG. Op4 have like a 3-1 advantage at the moment. Looks like ground command for Op4 evenly traded with the two men up here. Now there's only one Blue 4 guy. It's pretty much over. Op4 just have to pull site security, and it's done. I'll stay on for a bit longer, but at this point, it's pretty much over. It's just the cleaning up of the Blue 4 infantry up here. Yes, they're going to put up a good fight. Yes, they might even trade evenly with the Op4 group, or they might even kill them off. But it's over. And even if the Blue 4 group wins there, there's still the... Oh, the Maxim got abandoned up here. But even then, just look at the sheer amount of Op4 in every position around. Even if Blue 4 were to try to bypass and go around, they'd take attrition shots from the side. They'd have to literally go all the way around on the saddle. Maybe just maybe, Gazog with the Bren can roll into this position, get a multi-kill, get in here and kill the remaining 3 VIPs, and make it a tied game. So, will Gazog channel his inner Audrey Hotto and force a tied game on this OFCRA PvP match? Let's find out. I'm not even kidding, because the Stewart, it's just going off on its own adventure. It's not going to be able to do anything. Gazog goes the Ron AO. He's now in the middle of the town instead of fighting the... And that's the funny thing. He actually has a massive opening right here. If he just slid in on this side, he could have climbed over the wall, fought through maybe 1 or 2 OFCRA guys, and then he'd be fine. So he's over here now, doing... You Muppet. You fucking Muppet. You literally... Okay, it's fine. Anyway, let's look back at the amount of blue 4 that are alive. Oh, they're all dead. Wow. Can Gatto... Thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. I'm going to take a 10 to 15 minute break to go set up the pay for pain dev. And otherwise, cheers, guys. If you bet OFCRA, you definitely won. But otherwise, have a good one.